This is Susan Bradley for CSO Online, talking about a very important security step that you can do for your Office 365 implementation, and that's multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor means in addition to a username and a password, you'll need something else to access the account. Most of the time it's going to be a code sent to your phone, a code sent to an authenticator app. Bottom line, it's something else in addition to just the plain old email address and password. Now, why is this important? Not a day that goes by that I don't see some report of some breach somewhere. And many of these are due to the fact that as users let's face it, we're a bit lazy. We often reuse the same password in multiple locations and multiple sites. How many times have you discovered that some of your users are using the very same domain name, username, and password in multiple sites around the web? You can actually even test that. There's a site out there saying haveibeenpwned.com, and you can put in a sample username and just see if that username has been involved in a data breach. And it can also tell you if perhaps a password in that breach has been used or pasted, meaning that attackers can find a database of passwords and try and reuse them in multiple locations. One of the vendors I use actually sent a notification the other day indicating that they demanded that we reset all of our passwords because they noticed that attackers were reusing credentials. As a result, they mandatorily made us all change passwords and recommended using multi-factor. Bottom line, it keeps happening over and over. Users are lazy, let's face it, we all are, and it's something that we need to think about doing. So, how can we set multi-factor authentication? The easiest way to do it is go to the Office 365 Admin Center, go to where it says Active Users, and you can click on a user there and enable multi-factor. Look for where it says More, and you can highlight the user. I'll pick on a user here. Click on More. A box should pop up indicating that you can now manage the multi-factor authentication. Click on it and you'll see the users that have multi-factor enabled. Obviously in my test bed here I only have one user with multi-factor enabled. You can disable or enable as you see fit. We're going to disable it just to test it out. It's been disabled. And now again we're just going to play around and we're going to enable it for this person. And as you can see, it's going to give you a link that you should send out to your users to do the next step, the final step that they will need to do, which is setting up the phone or the multi-authentication application that they can use to set up MFA. We're going to enable multi-factor auth, and we're going to pretend to be the user for our next step. As the end user, we'll log into our account and we'll click on Next to get to the next step. It's going to ask us for some options here, and we can choose how we're going to set up our two-factor. We can either have a phone number, an office phone, or we can have a mobile app. Mobile app means the Microsoft Authenticator app. You can use that for additional verification piece as well. Once you set up the secondary way, in addition to the password, you'll click Setup and you can continue on the process. An application password is needed when you have an older application, such as Outlook 2013 or something older than that, or Apple Mail, or Office 360, or Xbox. Any of those older applications may need what's called an app password. What you do is you copy this app password into the application. So rather than the actual password that you normally think of, rather than using that to enter into the application, you copy and paste this. So you go over here and you copy the little code in there, and then you put it into the application that needs an additional verification. Once you're done with that, and you click on Done, and you're set to go. You can set up additional ways that you can authenticate, either an additional phone or the Microsoft Authentication app. So again, you can set up additional ways, multiple ways. So should something not work, let's say you forgot your cell phone one morning, you can set up another way that you can get into your applications. Bottom line, you want to check out multi-factor authentication, test it out, get your users used to it because we're going to need that more and more. I had to laugh a little bit. It talks about here the implementation cost is moderate, user impact is moderate. I'm not so sure about that. Some of my users still are wondering why we need it. But it's all about education, and it's all about making it easy for them to use. So test it out, check it out, and keep getting that score higher. Until next time, it's Susan Bradley for CSO Online.